This is most likely the first and the last time you'll be seeing a build presented to you like this. But it's not about the build, it's not about the AIO, which we covered. And as you can see, we have a new power supply from Lian Li. You saw it from my Computex boot tour, and we have it in this build right here. Now, what's so special about this power supply? It's just a regular 1000 watts platinum power supply. No, actually, it is not, because usually when you have Lian Li products, for instance, you go with streamers, you go with any type of fans. When we're talking about the UNI fan, then we have the pump block top that also needs to be connected with USB 2.0 header directly to your motherboard. And sometimes those extensions that you can buy individually don't work. This way right here, we have the Edge, because let me show you like this. You place your power supply as such, and from the close-ups, you can see that you're plugging in the main cables, well, vertically. And on the original position where usually the cables go, we have one port, one USB 2.0 port that you connect to your motherboard, and 4 additional extension ports just for the controllers. If you're in need of one, you just grab your power supply, pair it up with the O11D Evo XL RGB Vision, whatever you need, and it looks also quite nice. But that's not all, of course, because we have loads of other stuff that they managed to improve a power supply in general, not just only by efficiency and power delivery, but also with cables, because their thoughts on their power supply is that, of course, you're going to use it in their case, in their chassis. So in those terms, since it's located, for instance, this is O11D Evo XL, and since it is located in the middle of the case, here in the second compartment, you don't need such long cables. You can go simply with shorter cables, and they're braided. So what happens in this scenario? First of all, it's easier to cable manage everything. Since they are nicely braided, they also have cable comms, and they come with additional cable comms just in case you want more of those. But regardless of that, then when you reroute the cables nicely, and I would prefer basically to install the power supply first and then connect the cables directly inside the case, because you have the possibility to access them quite easily. When you're done with that, I would suggest also connecting each cable individually. So don't connect all of them at once on the power supply and then go reroute. My suggestion is go with 24 pin first because it's the thickest. Then we go with, I don't know, EPS cables at the top. Then we go with the GPU. And then we have peripherals as well. So you do have SATA. But here we go with another cool thing. They have a SATA cable. They have a SATA cable which isn't braided, which basically isn't necessary because it's located at the back. But let me just show you, and this is another reason why I left it like this, not perfectly organized. The 4 SATA connections on this one power cable are basically designed to be able to, well, easily and closely connect all of these 4 USB devices. Because basically you don't need to have 15 centimeters between, or 7.5 between each SATA port in this scenario. You can easily just use the extension cable. This is the cable going out of the controller here for the TL fans and for the Hydro Shift AIO. So basically you can connect them like so, and you don't have excessive cables running inside your case. This was done in like maybe 5 minutes tops when we're talking about cable management. So if you take your time and add 5 more minutes or even 10 minutes, even at the back, you'll have a nice organized cable management, not only on the front. Now, the power supply has this edge look-alike, or I would call, when we take into consideration only the connection part, we have it in like L shape, let's put it this way. But some sort of a specs. It has a built-in USB expansion hub. As I said, it's much more elegant and easier to cable manage in general, because if you use that extension first, there's possibility that any products from Lian Li might not work because of the extension. And then we have the other thing where you have an additional device inside your case that also needs to be, I don't know, placed somewhere. So it's using up unnecessary space, because after all, if you take a closer look at the Evo XL, you have two hard drive bays, 2x2 hard drive bays that you can actually use for your hard drives, just because they managed to create a power supply that saves up additional space for those connections. Then the power supply is adopted with AEC Q200 qualified APCOS automotive bulk capacitors, and the rest of all are Japanese capacitors. You have high quality braided sleeving, which are really flexible, and this is quite nice because they are easier to manage this way, with cable com featured on 24 pin, on EPS, on PCIe 6 plus 2, and the 12V 2x6 12V HPWR cables. Now, the only difference in cables when we're talking about 12V HPWR in general, we have specific design on this one because it has a colored top in, let's say, this type of blue. This is some sort of a light blue, which Lian Li actually uses in all of their boxes and stuff like that. And this is really good because when you're pushing the cable inside the GPU, I can't remember about the power supply side, but then you'll notice if you see a part that is blue, then you know it's not connected properly. Plus, you do need to check that lever part that needs to hold to the GPU and to the power supply if it did stuck properly. Or model name EG1000. You have it in black and white, 1000 and 1300. If you go with gold version, then you have it in 850,000, and I'm not quite sure about 1300, but I'll check that and give you that info later on. Fully modular power supply, quite logical. Active PFC, PF is just under 0.90 under full load at 115 VAC 60 Hertz. Combined plus 12 volts is 996 watts. Combined plus 3.3 and 5 volts is 120 watts. When we're talking about the fan, inside we have 120 millimeter fluid dynamic bearing fan that spins up to 2000 RPMs, and there is a fanless mode which goes into the noise level at maximum 25.96 decibels. Of course, it has all of those protection: OCP, OVP, OTP, OPP, SCP, and UVP. All in all, in addition to that, it has 10-year warranty, cybernetics ATX 3.1 pass, PCIe dual color 5.1 cable, and cybernetics platinum certified, as well as 80 plus platinum certified, with pplp.info also platinum certified. In this video, I wanted to show you basically that Lian Li thought of additional way to easen up your PC building experience. This way you can seamlessly connect all the cables in their chassis in the dual compartment cases, such as O11D Evo XL, such as this one, for instance, O11 Vision, and all the other designs as such. The thing about this is when you properly organize your cables, and because the cables are shorter than usual, literally no problems, right? There is a scenario where you have a different power supply which is a bit longer, then you have longer cables, they stick out here immediately, they aren't that flexible enough, or you can go with always a custom sleeved cables directly from a power supply to your components, but that's additional cost. So in these terms, you get custom sleeved cables, you get different approach when we're talking about connecting power supply in general, when we're talking about cables, USB device or USB expansion slot 2.0 that is directly on the power supply. Quite cool design, I do have to say. I mean, it is a PC component and you do have to take that into consideration as well, but in this type of case, you won't be seeing it. Cable coms on the cables, nicely sleeved cables, and basically I don't know else what to say. But all in all, big thumbs up again, and because of this, I'll give it a PC Crazy Creative badge, because I haven't seen, okay, Corsair did that shift, I think it's called shift, that it has cables on the side, right? That's a possibility. But we've seen on Computex that manufacturers are actually flipping the case in terms of just orienting the position where the power supply stands, and that's it. This is something definitely a bit different, right? So guys, thumbs up for Lian Li to actually creating their ecosystem and perfecting everything in those terms. And that's it. The link for the power supply, I'll basically try to find all of the models, so you'll be able to see the gold version and the platinum version, white, black, everything that I can find, and you'll find all the links in the description. And if this video helped you explain about the Edge power supply and all the other stuff regarding the cables, connections, similar things, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell. If you already didn't, that's cool, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully, because of it, hope that notification bell rings quite soon for the next video, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.